Okay, we're here at the back of 181 Linden Street, and the reason why is because this was a very special home built in 1890. This is a carriage house we're looking at, and you can see the very back second floor as the door has it went out the sun. Well, it probably was where hay was brought in from carriages that drove right up to it. It's a beautiful carriage house, matching the pattern of the house. It needs some repairs, but otherwise it's in good shape. And we're going to talk about who lived here and what they did in life, and also talk about the house itself. Okay, now it's a special house because the Olmsted brothers designed the landscape of it, and most of the landscape is gone, but it's still a nice landscape around here. And we're going to talk about not particularly the people's personalities, but what they did for the community, because they were very generous from this house. So we're going to walk through the back door here. And you can see in front of you still the back of 181 Linden Street. And it's very beautiful back here. The house has on the first floor a brick facade. The second and the upper floor it has the shingle facade. It's a Victorian house, and if you go inside, and I have gone inside before, it's very beautiful inside and well maintained, so I'm glad they're taking care of it. The person that made the house in 1890, his name was William Sims, and he owned the Sims paper mill, but then he only owned it for 4 years because he moved out to Michigan along a tiny canal out there and started another paper mill. So the owners through the years have been very generous. So when we talk about the next family was William Fairfield Whiten, the son of William Whiten. And he was the Secretary of Commerce under President Coolidge for only 1 year, but then he came back and kept being president of the William Whiten paper mill after his father had died. Now his family lived here from 1894 to 1916, that is for 22 years, and so they really kept this place in a nice state. All right, and what we're going to do is walk along the edge onto the next sidewalk. Okay, we're at the side of the house now, and you can see that it has a nice wraparound porch along this side. It used to have a turret or tower at the corner of it above that porch. That's been taken out probably because it rained too much and got into it. And so you can see it's changed quite a bit. Now, the next owner along was the Sells family doctors, and what they did was they lived here for 3 years, but there was a family of doctors only. And the mother, the father, and the son were all medical doctors. And the son actually had gone off to World War I, got trained, and then he came back and finished his Dartmouth education, and then also got trained to be a medical doctor. They all three practiced out of the same house in Holyoke, not this one, but they all three practiced together for many, many, many years. All right, and we're going to pause it before our next stop. Let's pause it. All right, you can see that the wall is decayed. This is not the fault of the Olmsted brothers. When they made the design, the wall was already here, and it's the fault of there's not enough drainage. You can see going upwards, there's a lot of land that slopes down, and it put pressure on this wall and caused it to cave in. Okay, we're going to go on to the sidewalk on Linden Street. Now, see how the wall gets worse and worse, but all of a sudden, you're hit with a very pleasant sight. The sidewalk in front of you is herringbone brick pattern, and that herringbone brick pattern goes all the way up through. And that's where the front of the house is, on 181 Linden Street. And the wall becomes nice because there's less pressure on it. So we're going to walk up here and finish the tour. Are you going to be here? Okay, so you can see in front of you 181 Linden Street. The tower was on the right. It was replaced by a reconstructed building. I paused it. Okay, we're along now the very front of 181 Linden Street. And if you look at it, it's very beautiful. To the right again, I explained there already was a tower. The wraparound porch finishes here. It's still very well maintained. You can see the second floor has beautiful windows. Two on the outside are longer than ones inside. And then in the very top you have a very beautiful shingle pattern. And that's the name of this kind of building. It's a Queen Victorian shingle style or sub-style home. Now, the next people to own this house after the Dr. Sells family was a Josephtown family. And they were the ones, they lived here the longest, for 41 years, from 1921 to 1962. And he owned, or was part owner with his brothers. They owned the National Blank Book Company, and it's probably the most popular company in Holyoke because they did such a great job through the year. Their employees absolutely loved them. And what they built here also, besides maintaining the beautiful building, was they had their landscapes done by the Olmsted brothers. So in 1923 to 1925, they called the Olmsteds in to do a landscape for them. And what it included were bushes, trees, and then a curved driveway that which we saw in the back. And on the side was the most important feature of all. So on the side, you now see a little umbrella there. There's now a swimming pool there. So what was there was destroyed. But what was there was something called the secret garden. The secret garden was a little garden for her two sons. The mother constructed, or had constructed, a very special place. Her name was Jessie Louise Dodd, married to Josephtown, and her two sons, William and Ann Robinson, as little boys, would go play in the secret garden. It was a flower garden where each kind of flower had their own position on a design map. And I've seen the design map. I haven't found a key that matches the code to tell what flower goes where, but you can see how through curves and through different heights they had a beautiful garden going there in the back. And the sons must have adored that place. So that was a great family. They owned a wonderful business and kept this place up to the highest standards imaginable. The next family to come in was a Sheridan family. They lived here for 22 years from 1962 to 1984. And Philip Sheridan was an engineer for Ty Bond, which is now in Westfield. And he lived here, and he probably was the one that put the pool in where the secret garden was, okay? And then after that were two more families. I won't mention their names. And they also kept it in great shape. The present family has done a lot to bring it up to the standards that it should be at. Since it's a very elaborate house within Holyoke, the standards should be very high, and they've kept it up. On the back side, which we can't go to, there's a chimney which has a date of the construction, 1890, printed right on the chimney itself. So I'm glad you visited this beautiful house at 181 Linden Street. Every year from now on, I hope to do another house within Holyoke. This was the house for 2022, and in 2023 we're doing a house on Chestnut Street, which became the first nursery in Holyoke, called the Holyoke Day Nursery. So I'm glad you came in this stop. Thank you.